So a couple of other just, issues I wanted to raise, moving parts in what we're seeing out there. State was all excited because workers' compensation rates didn't change this year, so for all employers, this is a really good, exciting thing. If you are still letting people go or people are quitting, your rates are still going to change, so they're not fixed. But the overall level of taxes did not increase by L&I this year, so that's just something to note. They were very proud of the fact that they could get away with not increasing them this year. Digital materials, this is a really interesting area. In 2009, the state passed this digital materials where sales tax is due on digital goods that are sold. So for people who use something like a Constant Contact, you would see that that is now taxed. So if you used to pay 20 bucks a month, now you pay 22 bucks a month because it's now subject to sales tax. This is particularly applicable to people who sell documents that can be downloaded, webcasts, things like that, including software as a service in many cases, downloadable software. All of those things that were not subject to sales tax in the past are subject to sales tax now. There are exceptions, there are exclusions. It's a pretty complicated area as far as what falls into it and what doesn't. But this is just something to be aware of on the digital goods front. Internet sales, this is constantly being talked about. It's been talked about probably for 10 years. How does the state deal with all of the materials, the goods that are coming from Amazon based in Washington into their state? It's similar to the commercial activity tax. So for example, if Amazon was selling $250,000 worth of goods or $500,000 worth of goods into Ohio, they would be subject to that commercial activity tax. But this is different because this is whether the person who receives the Amazon product in Ohio or anywhere else has to pay sales tax on it. Right now, and the historical case law on this is that if you don't have a physical presence in the state, you don't have to charge the sales tax on it. That's how it's been for years and years and years. And pretty much every year, the issue gets raised as to, well, can states start to collect that sales tax on those products? It's still, the physical nexus is still the law. That's still where it is. Amazon is obviously a huge lobbyist against that, along with Overstock.com and various others who have a vested interest in not charging sales tax for these things. And this goes, Scott, to your point about selling products in other states. You don't have to collect sales tax if you don't have a physical presence.
Right.
However, we need to keep an eye on how that's changing, and I expect that it'll change kind of state by state over time, and eventually maybe end up in federal legislation. So.